Okay, looks like one of my Facebook destinations got deleted. I don't know which one. So that's unfortunate. Um, huh. Okay. So I got regular Facebook. I got, oh, I don't know which one it is. I'm sorry for whoever it got deleted, but hi. Everyone, I'm a mess today, but that's no different than any other day. You have landed on the Let's Talk news page. I am Leticia Remauro and I am your host. And if you're new here, you should get used to lots of glitches because I'm a one woman show and I'm old. So not everything is easy. Hello, Francine. How are you? Thank you for joining us and me and being here religiously. I really do appreciate it. So one of the Facebook streams got deleted somehow. I didn't do it. Facebook must have done it. It happens sometimes. There is lots of things going on, glitching in the universe. I'm a little late and a little hurried because my computer crashed just before we got on. But that's par for the course on this show. You're not old, you're younger than me. Oh, I am not younger than you, I assure you. But either way, you're right. I'm not old, I'm experienced. We're all experienced, right? So that's good. Hi, you're doing great. Thank you, Lucille Chavone. I appreciate it. What do we have? Hi, Colleen. I hope you're feeling better. Leticia is like Roseanne. I like Roseanne. I love Roseanne. I assume you're saying Roseanne Barr. Um, Watched her since her show first started. Not watching the Connors. Haven't watched one episode since they kicked her off. I watch her podcast. I think she's great. So thank you, Kevin, for comparing me to a great comedian. I am not as funny by any stretch of the imaginations, but I'm probably far more in tune politically than she is. Okay, yes. Okay. So much is going on in the universe. So I'll let you think about what you want to talk about. But we're going to continue on. We're going to save the mayor's race to the end, and we will talk about it if you like. And then I think Tuesday I'll go on at 8 and maybe I'll go on at 7. I got to see when Winsome Sears race, when that's called. I think Virginia's called at 7. And I think that I think Jersey's at 9. I don't know. I'm going to find out and then I'm going to put it up. And we might have a 4-hour show on Tuesday, and we will get the updates. I will give you the updates live from the Board of Elections as they come in for the New York City mayor's race, and I'll get the updates for Jersey and also Virginia. What do you think about that? We could all watch the returns together. Do you like it? Okay, we said hello to Deb. So anyway, lots going on. Want to continue to talk about the shutdown because Thune, Majority Leader Thune, I thought was brilliant today on the Senate floor. Both he and Schumer talked about the Schumer shutdown. And Schumer, I didn't even get a clip of Schumer because if you think I'm tongue-tied and discombobulated now, this man almost Biden-esque the way he has conversations. Just horrible. I was telling my friend when they talk about old age, I said, when you use the timer for 40 minutes, half hour, 60 minutes, or whatever, when you reach 70, the bell goes off and something falls off. That's what I'm feeling at this age. I get you. You know, I could feel this hurricane in every bone in my body. It's amazing. Hello, Professor. Good to have you. I love when you come on. I love when you all come on. But it's always nice to have the professor. Professor is, it keeps my brain going when I talk with him because I have to, he speaks at a level up here and I have to kind of try and reach up to figure out exactly what he's saying. So I like when the professor's here. Susan Durama, thank you for joining us. So We're going to talk about Thune. We're going to talk about the Schumer shutdown and what it's doing to popularity in Congress. And we're also going to talk about Trump's new crown. Did you all see? He got a crown? If you didn't, I'm going to play you the clip. It's really great. But first, I wanted to show you something. This is crazy. Does anybody in the audience use that USPS? Like you see your mail before you get it in the mailbox so that you know what's coming. It's an app or it's an email thing from the United States Postal Service. Does anybody use it? Love the professor too, and you too, Leticia, so smart. Oh, thank you, Debbie. And you are so smart, and you are so funny and so quick. Saw the crown, very apropos. Yeah. Hello, Mama. Good to have you. Okay, so you use it. Okay. I want to show you. You probably passed over it, but I want to show you what I got in my inbox. This is crazy. Okay, so this came in my inbox. And I don't know if you could see it up here. USPS podcast. It's called Mail In It. It's a podcast for the United States Postal Service. And they interviewed David Steiner, who's the, 76th Postmaster General of the United States. The United States Postal Service, the people who can't get our mail to us, the people who the employees were stealing government checks out of the mail and selling them on the black market, and that Congress, led by Nicole Maliotakis, had to change the way they are mailing government checks to people because of what was happening with postal workers stealing checks and selling them on the black market. That United States Postal Service has a podcast. You saw it with your own eyes. That's who sent it to me. They have a podcast. Okay? That's all I got to say. All right. So, did anybody see this? Was I the only one that got this? What do you think about this? I mean, why do they have a podcast? Who the fuck is going, I got to listen to the Mailing It In or Mailing It podcast. I got to see what the United States Postal Service has to say about things. What the fuck could they be talking about? Stamps? How to lick your envelope? I mean, honestly, I should actually go look on Spotify. Somebody should look on Spotify and see what the episodes are called. Mailing It. Yes, the crowd was funny. I'm going to show it to you now. Yes, United States Postal Service. Okay, hold on. Maybe he should run for mayor of New York City. Really? Mailing it. I don't know. All right, so let's see Trump's new crown because I just love this. So it's a little hard to hear. I saw this in the middle of the night last night. I don't know why I got up and I couldn't sleep, and I had Fox on, and this clip's from CNN though. Watch.
The US president is in South Korea right now, meeting with President Lee Jae-myung. Donald Trump was presented with one of the country's highest honors, usually reserved for South Korean presidents. He also received a lavish gift, a replica of an ancient crown.
This is the Cheonmachong gold crown, which is a key artifact that represents the Silla dynasty, the first Korean kingdom to unite the Korean peninsula. The Cheonmachong gold crown symbolizes the divine connection between the authority of the heavens and sovereignty on earth, as well as the strong leadership and authority of a leader.
I'd like to wear it right now. Thank you so much. We'll cherish it. Thank you very much, everybody. Appreciate it.
I'd like to wear it right now. I am dying for the moment when he does wear it. I want to know where he's going to put it in the Oval Office. I want to know, do you think that he'll actually put it on? You know, I mean, what they said about it, it represents a deity like on earth, and it's only given to presidents of South Korea, right? South Korea, yeah, South Korea. So they gave it to him, and they gave him that medal because of his peacekeeping skills. So I want to know what you think. Do you think that we're going to see a press gaggle where he comes out wearing the freaking crown? I love it. I absolutely love it. He should take a pic of him with it on Halloween. No, I think that would be, that would, the Koreans are really, they are sticklers for manners. Really, really sticklers for manners, and I think that would be rude, because if you really look at the history and what this crown symbolizes, I mean, it's really, really cool. So he will put it on. All right, Lucille thinking, yes, to piss off the crazies. I gotta say, I want to see him, in the medal, in the crown. It would be fantastic if, he puts it like in a cherished place in the Oval Office, and then one day when the press comes in, he has it on sitting behind his desk. Maybe closer towards when he leaves. But oh my God, that he's got that kind of sense of humor where he absolutely will put it on. He's going to wear it. He might wear it to bed with Melania. He's got to do at least one photo op with it on. Yeah, because it's Trump. Okay, I didn't know that. Then he should, because if what the Dems are saying, yes, absolutely, he should, because of what the Dems are saying. Let me just explain to you how I know about the Koreans. When I was the vice president for public relations in the Battery Park City Authority, we had lots of people come to our office from other countries to kind of see our master models and to learn about how we built the city, because it really was a beautiful thing. And the Koreans loved coming to Battery Park City. So I was in charge of getting them, organized, and having all of our different departments speak to them, show them presentations. And every time they left me with a gift, nothing extravagant, something, small, under the $35 that you had to disclose stuff. But like a scarf or a pin, or something from their country and their culture, and they would bring it here, and they had it for everybody who actually presented. It was a big thing for them, and the way they presented it to us was amazing. So the Korean people are so polite, and they are steeped in tradition. So it's really nice. And I think that if they saw Trump wear the crown in the proper setting, I think that they would love it. I was listening to the Dems today say that it was disgusting that they thought Trump set the whole thing up. And you know what? That's a terrible thing to say, because you're talking about presidents of other countries, of leaders of other countries, and to think that they're so pathetic and weak that President Trump could demand something and they do it publicly is just absolutely ridiculous. The Democrats just don't know what the hell to do, and I just can't even with them anymore. That's awesome. So much respect from world leaders. The procession in London, all the leaders in Egypt. Now this, it is, and that Xi is going to Korea to meet with Trump is also something really amazing. You think about what President Poopy Pants did in London and what he did, at the summit when Georgia Maloney had to go chase after him because she thought he was going to wander off a cliff. I mean, big difference between that man who pretended to be our president and this man who is our president. He should keep it on the desk when Jeffries and Schumer come to talk. Oh, that's brilliant. I love it. Either that or build a special cabinet for it. when it opens up, lights come out and oh yeah. I love it. Somebody needs to give him a scepter and a cape. Then I wouldn't wear it unless it was a tribute to them and not a laugh because of the Democrats calling him a king. I get you. I get you, Deb. And that's what the whole thing is, right? You have to do it in such a way that it's respectful. So I do think he's putting it on. Do I think that he'll wear it, for the press? Maybe sometime. But I do think he's going to give it a place of stature in the Oval. I think I got the wrong crown. I was thinking of this comedy sketch. Oh yeah, no, that's the crown that they gave to him, and the best thing is that when I don't know where this happened, and I didn't have enough time to research it, but Trump, the South Korean president, had a whole tribute to Trump in his office. Like he had the T-shirt with Trump's mugshot on it. He had Melania's book. He had the gold sneakers. He had the Trump Bible. It was crazy. Hi, sorry I'm late. Just got back from the headquarters. That's okay, Angela. How did it go tonight? I know that people are coming out. You guys are changing people's minds. People are voting for Curtis. People are voting for Cuomo. In my own little circle, I have people fighting with each other about who they're going to vote for. So that's why I just say vote your conscience. I don't know why they keep putting Biden out there. Oh, he got an award. He got the Ted Kennedy Award. How fitting. The guy that left a girl to drown in his car in the Chappaquiddick River has an award named after him, and Biden got it, the Ted Kennedy Lifetime Achievement Award. So I'm not going to say what I'm thinking in my head. But anyway, that's why he was out. That's why his handlers let him out. Put it in the ballroom. Oh, good. Oh, that's good. I saw that. So awesome. It was crazy. People are mad. Mad at what? Tell us what they're mad at. Did he drive off a bridge? It's apropos that the guy that can't find his way off a stage was given an award named after the guy that drove off a bridge. You can't make this stuff up, man. You just can't make this stuff up. The Chappaquiddick. Oh my God. You are so freaking funny, Debbie. I can't. All right. So listen. To serious stuff. Kind of serious stuff. Yeah. Yesterday, we talked about the real reason for the shutdown, and it is that Chuck Schumer wants to make sure that the insurance companies get their money. And apparently, Senator Thune was watching our show last night because today on the floor, he said exactly the same thing. I thought, and when I said yesterday we were going to make news, I thought I was breaking news in putting the whole thing together. But I share all my notes with my fellow Republicans. And so that's the real reason behind all of this. Because they can tell you it's about making sure that everyone has health care, but that's not the case, right? Because we went through that too last night. Obamacare is not working. People are not getting coverage. People are not able to afford coverage. So the number of uninsured did not go down in America. The cost of insurance did not go down in America. People weren't able to keep their doctors. People weren't able to keep their insurance plans. It was a failure on every level except for one, in that people who had pre-existing conditions were able to get on Obamacare, and they were able to keep their kids on their insurance until 26. So more young people were insured in that way. So they got 5 more years of insurance through mommy and daddy. But otherwise, it's a failure. And only a politician would decide to throw more money at a failing program and see if that makes a difference, right? because we see it happening in the New York City school system. We see that happening in the United States. How many different departments that Doge is cutting down, because all they do is throw money at it and it doesn't work. So now that we know why this is happening, Thune is getting pissed, and people should get pissed. Let's just see what Angela says. They don't want to vote for Cuomo, but feel like they're backed in a corner and have to do it. I can understand that. Hi, Maisie. How are you, Maisie? Oh no. We're going to talk about the Schumer shutdown more than the Curtis Cuomo Mamdani race. I don't think keeping kids on until 26 is good. I think you're right. I don't think, there's a thing going around social media where they took the National Park Service has signs up throughout the parks that say do not feed the animals, because if you feed the animals, you will create a feeling of dependency on the food that you're giving, and so they will not be able to sustain themselves if people stop feeding them. And that's kind of what's happening now with this whole SNAP situation, right? We have created a cycle of dependence on the government to actually feed people. I can't even tell you what I am seeing on social media. People saying they're going out there to steal and this and that, and the government owes them the money. These are people that have been on social services their whole life, and it's really scary. It's really, really scary. So, but back to Angela. I've said it here a couple of times, and I want to say it again. I do not care for Andrew Cuomo. I liked him before. I liked him when I worked with him. I liked him in his early stages of being the governor. It depends. The good thing about 26, my kids were able to stay at a pediatrician. That's good. Supplemental is the key word. Yeah. Check people getting SNAP, weed out ones that should not be. Yeah, my husband said, they should make everybody reapply, and that would weed everybody else out. That makes sense. At 26, my sons had full-time job and their own insurance. Yeah, the same is going with my grandson. He's on his mother's insurance, but he has insurance at his job, and he can actually, I think he took it. So he has two. He has a primary and a secondary. But that's the only thing that really was successful for people. Cuomo and always be impeached if he screws up again. Mamdani must not get in. This should scare people. The government has the power to starve them. That's right. So let me just go back. So Cuomo, he was always common sense until he wasn't, right? Mamdani has never had a job. He's a trust fund baby. He was a rapper. He had a rap career because his grandmother had some successful television shows. I think she was on soap opera, and then she was on a cooking show. And his mother, the grandmother's daughter, is a film producer. Okay, the father is a professor. I forget where, but buco bucks. Nice. Professors are not paid cheaply. With tenure and everything else, you're talking about $200,000 to $300,000 for professors. I think. I know he's at a big college. I don't know what his salary is, but anyway. So he had this rap career, and then all of a sudden he runs for assembly and he wins. And now he's going to run, and now he's running for mayor. What experience does he have? Balancing a checkbook, overseeing a budget, negotiating, dealing with businesses, dealing with state authorities. He never even passed a bill. Curtis, guardian angel, smart, street smart guy, broke. I think 4 wives. I can't remember how many kids. Got to pay alimony to everybody. He didn't even, he didn't even get off the hook with the alimony. Knows a lot about children with disabilities because he has one. Great with kids, great with law and order. But what does he know about balancing $136 billion budget? Nothing. Now, if you're going to say Mamdani has no experience, then you can't not say that Curtis has no experience, because it's true. Curtis has no experience. And there's a big difference between being a radio, host, and the leader of a public safety group, and actually understanding an executive budget. As a matter of fact, that was kind of the argument that I made between Vito and I when I was running for borough president. I was involved in every aspect of city government, from working for the mayor to the community board. I was a businesswoman, so I employed people. I understood negotiations. I understood all of these things. Vito was a city councilman and a congressman, and that was the argument I made. He had experience, but not the same type of experience, and not the experience of an executive. And that's really, really, really important to learn on the job as mayor of New York City. I don't care how big your heart is. The same as with Trump. He learned on the job with Trump won. He did well in the areas he knew about, but he did not know how ruthless Washington could be, and nothing could prepare him for it. He's ready for it now, but he wasn't ready for it then. With the SNAP program, if you depend on the government to feed, then they can always starve you too. Communism. Yes, absolutely. Yes. You can work from, except if you're on welfare. People work from home. Why can't people getting free stuff do the same kind of work? Because let me tell you why. Because the unions won't let it. When George Pataki became governor, I was running for the assembly, and one thing that we did talk about, and he did adopt, was the welfare reform program, and he changed it to workfare, and he worked with Giuliani. And do you know that the unions went crazy because people who were not properly trained were working for the government, and they wanted them to become part of the union. Eventually, a deal was made so that they could make them as apprentices, but they almost stopped the whole thing. Big money behind the commie. Would love to know the people backing him in the shadows. Most of his money is from around the country, not New York. Curtis, small donations, everything there. I donated and campaigned for Curtis. Now we are in the home stretch. Hold on a second. Curtis still down in third place, so I will hold my nose and vote for Cuomo. Understand why the people who lost loved ones on the Cuomo won't vote for him. I get it. They shouldn't. But the rest of us should, just to save New York City from a communist jihadist 9/11 gang member. Soros. Yeah, you're probably right. It probably is Soros. And it's also the other two that I had on. We talked about. I forget their name now. The Indian guy who sold his company for $750 million or whatever it was, and him and his wife are giving away all their money. That's who they're involved in. That's who this whole that's who's driving all of this. Soros and those two. WEF, right? So the workfare program. Neville, thank you. Okay, so what I'm getting at is, you might not like a person's personality. You might not like what they have done, but there is no denying that Cuomo knows how to balance a budget and understands government and understands how to negotiate. There's no denying that. I think he needs to apologize for the deaths for the nursing home. I think that's important. I think that he needs to be a little bit contrite. If he wins this thing, his speech better be, I'm sorry, New York. I'm sorry for my missteps, and everybody screws up, and I did, and it was a trying time, or whatever he has to say, but he better apologize. Cuomo is no better than Madman. Cuomo just lies about everything. They all lie about everything, Maisie. Every single one of them. I don't know anybody who doesn't, except for Trump. Well, a couple of them are truthful, but the politician, the essence of a politician is a liar. American people need to get a class action lawsuit against the Democrat senators and get Schumer impeached. Kevin, that's a really good idea. That's a really good idea. Cuomo said if you profile or Republican, you don't belong in New York. Move. I remember that. I remember that. And like I said, he went far to the left all of a sudden. He was fine right up into the beginning of COVID. And then during COVID, he lost his freaking mind. And I still don't understand what that's about. I'd love to know. He needs to apologize indeed. And I'm thinking and hoping he wants to redeem himself. I think so too. Pro-life. Yeah. But I'm not a politician. That's the whole thing. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a community activist. I'm not a politician. But these people that have been, come out of the womb running for office and have had nothing else behind them, those are politicians. They lie. And oh my God, I got to tell you, the only thing worse than Albany, which is a cesspool, is DC. And that is one of the reasons why I would never work for, a congressperson I work in a federal agency, but I would never work where I had to go to DC. I had to do it a couple of times and I showered afterwards. It's horrible. He's so arrogant. He needs to change his attitude against Trump and negotiate, not demand. Cuomo, let me tell you something. Something's going on. Trump and Cuomo are talking. I'm sure of it. Trump is not a politician either. He's a businessman. That's right. And everything that is here comes out here. He has no filter. He can't lie because if he lied, he couldn't keep track of them. Do you understand? He's got no filter. See how the Democrats accuse him of lying about everything? No, he doesn't lie about things. They lie about it. He's got no filter. He's got no filter. He will never apologize. I don't know. I don't know. I think that if his family gets on him, maybe he would. You told me about how bad DC was when you went with Nicole. It was horrible. I was there several times and all right, we're over, but I'm going to keep going because I want you to see this. All right, here is Thune.
Take the Democrats' own words. If you look at what's been said by some of the Democrat leadership here, just in the last few days since the government actually shut down, that, of course, is the Democrat leader, Senator Schumer, who said every day gets better for us, commenting about the government shutdown. And my simple observation is, better for who? For you? Because you think you're winning politically? What about the air traffic controllers? What about the TSA agents? What about the American troops? What about our Border Patrol agents? What about the people who work in this building? What about the 40 million Americans that are going to not get SNAP benefits starting on Saturday if the government doesn't open up? But every day gets better, according to Senator Schumer. And then, of course, this last week, there was the House Democrat whip who said, of course, there will be families that are going to suffer, but it is one of the few leverage times we have. Of course, there are families that are going to suffer. Yeah, true. But doesn't matter because we got leverage. Then, of course, we have a third one here, one of our colleagues here in the Senate, the senator from Delaware, who said this in an interview: frankly, this is our only moment of leverage, and although a very unpleasant tool to use. Yeah, it's unpleasant. It's unpleasant unless you're a Democrat who thinks that this gives you a moment of leverage. So lest there be any question about who is responsible for shutting the government down, make no mistake about it. These guys are the ones who are out there bragging about it getting better for us every single day. Or we have more leverage now. Mr. President, this has gone on long enough. We've made it abundantly clear that this is not about what the Democrats say it's about. It's about the President in the White House. This is TDS. This is Trump derangement syndrome on steroids. And they are asking the American people to pay the price for that. 13 times when Biden was president, they had no issues with funding the federal government with a clean CR. Now we bring a clean, nonpartisan CR, no partisan riders, no policies, Republican policies attached, just funds the government. Comes over from the House a month ago now. We put it here, just asking a handful of Democrats to join us because, as we know, it takes 60 in the Senate.
So, there you go. That was their words. They're trying to act as if somehow the Republicans are starving people, are trying to take away the people's health care, don't care about people. But the truth is that they need the leverage because there's their only opportunity to have leverage. Why do they need leverage? They need leverage because they got to get the money for the insurance companies. Simple. The whole thing is about extending the COVID era subsidies because they were raised. Oh, and last night I misspoke. I said that Obamacare as a total was going to sunset this year. It wasn't. It's the COVID era enhanced subsidies, enhanced payments. So the government subsidizes people's health insurance. So during COVID, they subsidized at a higher rate because they wanted to make sure that people were covered. So these enhanced subsidies, these higher premiums, have been being paid since 2021. And they were meant to sunset in 2025. 4 years. They got 4 years of higher premiums. And the Democrats are carrying the water to try to make those higher premiums permanent. Even though we showed, and everybody knows, and you could Google it, that Obamacare did not work for the middle class. It did not lower costs. And that's what happens, right? Whenever government gets involved in business, they inflate prices artificially. That's why, right? Let's just take quickly, rent stabilization or rent period, right? When the government wants to put low income housing in a neighborhood, let's say the neighborhood's rent is $400 a month. Let's say that's the number. All right, make it realistic, $900 a month. Well, the government comes in and sweetens the pot to get the landlords to give them the land or the building or the whatever. So all of a sudden, instead of paying $900 a month, they're paying $1,200 a month for a subsidy for Section 8. And then what happens? All the rents in the area go up artificially to match that. Because if the government's paying it, then the people must be able to pay it. And that's how the government fucks over private business on a regular basis and how the government screws up the economy. Because the economy should not be about the government setting the prices. It should be the market setting the prices. That's why we're in the condition we're in. That's why this $20 an hour, $15 an hour, minimum, whatever dollar an hour they're talking about, minimum wage, does not work. Oh, so we'll give you a subsidy. We'll give you a tax deduction if you pay people more. Stupid. Why doesn't the government just stay the hell out of it and let the market set the rate? And then you won't need to give subsidies. And that's the problem. Cuomo was all, I'll stand up to Trump. You need to look at the beginning. Gavin Newsom and Andrew Cuomo were kissing Trump's ass in the beginning. Tom Hopkins said that a really good salesman and con man differ in the extreme, but are same as politics. Yes, and that's true. That's true. Trump is not politically correct, but he's correct. He's absolutely correct all the time. Trump is right about everything. This is why we need the class action lawsuit. I love that idea. I gotta talk to some people about that. Amen. Now they are blaming Trump when it's their job, not his. And Trump wanted to fund the programs, and they said no. Yeah, I mean, they voted against paying people. They voted against funding the program, and now they're. Oh, I can't even. If their mouth is moving, they're lying. We have to end this, we the people. You are absolutely, Kevin, you are so right. Nursing homes and hospitals getting higher fees also, and built those extra dollars into permanent budgets, but they're temporary funds. Right. So they artificially set, set a number, and then everything comes up. That's why the premiums never went down, because it didn't matter. They're going to say, oh, well, we had all these incidences all over the world and yada, 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 so we had to raise the premiums. Bullshit. Insurance industry is the richest industry there is. Every time government subsidizes, prices skyrocket. Yes, but why don't they learn that? Because they don't. They're fucking hamsters. They're insane. Do the same thing over and over and see if we get a different result. Sue every Democrat senator, everything they have. Yeah, well, that's good idea. 100% correct. That's exactly what's happening in Eltingville with my neighborhood. Absolutely. I watched it happen in the North Shore. I've watched it happen 100 times in 100 places. Artificial floors and ceilings impede equilibrium of free markets. That's correct. Mamdani raising minimum wage to $30 an hour. That's why there will be no business left in New York. That is why if this man gets in, you're done. See, here's the thing. Here's how I look at it, right? You have a situation, whyever it occurred itself, the three people in the race, who knows why it happened, but it did. It's the way life worked. So these are the cards that you're playing right now. If you try to pretend that the numbers aren't the numbers and that somehow or another you're going to get something better than is being dealt to you right now by magic, then you're just handing the whole thing to Mamdani. If you look at it and say, Jesus Christ, this sucks. Love Curtis as a person, bad. He's not going to be a good mayor. I hate Andrew Cuomo as a person, but knows how to be a mayor. And Mamdani is not even trying to be mayor. He's just trying to make sure that he gets socialism down pat. He's just evil. There's your three choices. You decide who you want to live under. Because here's the thing. Whoever gets in, Curtis, if he gets in, there's no guarantee that he'll get a second term similar to Trump. Cuomo gets in, you can vote him out, right? Because it's a Democrat situation. Find another Democrat. Vote him out. Better Democrat. Because, again, you live in a Democrat city. Mamdani gets in, you're never getting him out. You know why you're never getting him out? Because then he's in control of everything, including the Board of Elections. Think about that. He's in control of judges' appointments. He's in control of the Board of Elections. He's in control of so many things, licenses, fees, things that he doesn't need the city council for. But even if he did, they're all socialists too. You tell me, what are you willing to do to protect yourself? Because if you're going to play games, anybody out there are going to hope that Curtis can do something, then I don't know what to say. Vote your gut. But at the end of the day, boy, this is going to be bad. New York City gives $2,500 a month vouchers for one bedroom. Yeah, I know. You are smart. Thank you for your time and information. Oh, amazing. I love you. I know it's heartbreaking. The numbers are alone for Republicans versus Democrats in New York City will never vote in a Republican. That's the bottom line. Not anymore. There needs to be a lot of work done if New York City is going to vote in a Republican. And it has to start with the Republican fucking Party. That they're giving cross endorsements in Staten Island to Democrats. Are you kidding? In the only place where you could have a two-party system, they're cross endorsing each other so that people don't have to vote. Let me tell you what happens when that happens. When you take away the necessity for people to vote, you have a mayor's race of 1 million of 20%. And you get a socialist as your mayor. That's what the Republicans of Staten Island have been doing. Ridiculous, cross endorsing each other. Because why should anybody go out and vote? Who are you going to vote for? They're in. They cross endorse each other so that they get in automatically. And they've been doing that in the state too. Or they don't bother running anybody because they have no chance. So it's just if you want to take back New York, you need a lot of work and a lot of money. So Mamdani is not a businessman, doesn't know anything about negotiations. He knows nothing. He's a rapper. He's a trust fund baby and a rapper. But more importantly, a Democrat socialist. And, I was going to play clips, but I didn't want to make it all about New York, but I have, of him talking about, once we get our foot in the door, we'll be proud to be a socialist. And once we can get our foot in the door in these big cities with socialism, they got nothing to do with the Democrat Party. They hate the Democrat Party. They want the Socialist Party. Backroom deals for personal gain. Yes, but you're right. But it destroys people's desire to vote. And now people feel like, well, why am I even going to the polls? And then when you do that to somebody long enough, that person, you can't even pull them out to the polls if you wanted to. That's what I was saying about, you think about the election cycles, right? Mine, I think, was the last real challenging election. And that was only in the primary, really. There's been no reason to get out to vote. And the Republicans did that. The Republicans and the Democrats did that. So now when your life depends on it, almost literally, how are you going to pull people out to vote? They've been trained already. Don't bother voting. You don't need to. That's the problem. All right. So listen, I don't know if you saw this. If you watch Fox, you probably did. But this is CNN. This is Harry Eitan.
How has the shutdown seemed to have affected their political standing?
Yeah, you might think, given that the Republicans are in charge of both the House and the Senate, that a government shutdown might actually hurt the Republican brand. But in fact, it hasn't. If anything, it's been helped a little bit. Take a look here, the shift in net popularity versus pre-shutdown. When we're looking at the Republican Party overall, that brand actually up 2 points. That's within the margin of error, but clearly it hasn't dropped. Come over to this side of the screen. Look at the net approval ratings for Republicans in Congress. It's actually up 5 points since pre-shutdown. So what we're seeing here is the Republican brand in Congress has actually improved somewhat compared to where we were pre-shutdown, despite the fact that Republicans control. And that's the math that John Thune and Mike Johnson are looking at is, well, hey, why should we give, and electorally speaking, when our brand has actually improved a little bit?
Now, we say their position is getting better. With whom?
Yeah, okay, with whom? So I think it's two groups that it's so important to keep an eye on. All right, changing the Republican Congress's net approval rating versus pre-shutdown. It's rallying the base for sure. Look at this, the net approval rating up 12 points versus pre-shutdown. But it's not just with the base. It's also with the middle of the electorate. Look at this, among independents. It's up 8 points as well. So we've got a situation here where Republicans with the shutdown are actually rallying their base, but it's also something that's not hurting them with the folks in the middle. If anything, it's helping them with folks in the middle. And this is the type of math that if you're Republicans, you like to see, right? Because something could rally the base but alienate those in the middle, or something could rally those in the middle but alienate the base. But the truth is, we're not seeing that. What we're seeing is the Republican brand has actually gotten better among independents, and it's also gotten better among Republicans as well, that Republican brand when it comes to those in Congress. So again, what's the electoral reason that Republicans would give in at this point?
And Democrats, of course, they have their eyes on the midterm elections. Yeah, we have elections 1 week from today, but what Democrats in Congress are mostly focused on are 1 year and 1 week from today from the midterm. So how how are they positioned right now?
Yeah, so, I mean, look, the generic congressional ballot, which traditionally Democrats have done really well on, and if you look at this point back when Trump was president the first time around, Democrats are up 11 points. Look at where it is now. Democrats are ahead, but they're actually only up 3 points. This is, in fact, the worst position Democrats have been on in a generic ballot at this point in midterm when there was a Republican president in the last 20 years. And this is no different from pre-shutdown. So Republicans aren't losing on this metric either. They become more popular, and they're actually in a pretty good position for them historically when it comes to the generic congressional ballot.
This is a concerning number for Democrats, are you saying?
This is a concerning number for Democrats because it's considerably worse than they traditionally do in midterm elections when there's a Republican president.
That guy shouldn't drink coffee. Yes, I saw that. Now they're calling CNN traitors. CNN used to be a normal news station. That's all I ever watched. Now I have to watch half and half. It seems like they're going back, to what they used to be. Democrat voters don't realize they are actually voting for communism. Democrat voters in New York think the young kids, no, they're voting for socialism. They want socialism. For some reason, they think it's going to work. I had a conversation with somebody today that were telling me that Finland and Norway and Denmark were socialist nations. They're not. They are monarchs. It's monarchy, but it's not socialist. People don't know, that socialism doesn't sustain itself as socialism. It always turns to communism. Check me on that, Professor. Tell me if I'm right or wrong on that. I think I am right. You talk normal, and like other YouTubers, don't change. Oh, thank you, Kevin. I appreciate that. The first person that ever told me that you like the way I talk. Okay, we read that already. Love him. Yeah, he's fun. And he's good. Trump is a game changer. America loves strength and courage and transparency. Yes. And they love regular people who tell them the truth. And to Kevin's point, I don't know any other way to be, Kevin. I'm not a YouTuber. And, I started this show with my daughter because I never saw her. So we used to spend an hour on Tuesday talking with everybody. And now I ended it. And then I came back because after they murdered Charlie Kirk, I was not going to let another conservative voice be silenced. So the thing is about Trump is that he's just honest. And he tells people even the shit they don't want to hear. And the Dems make fun of him. Remember when he talked about like some sort of bleach, something that can he was talking about like, sanitizing your innards, to protect you from COVID. And they turned that into, he told people to drink bleach, which he never did. But Trump shoots straight with people, and he always makes you feel like you're getting the behind the scenes scoop, which you are. And I've talked here before about powerful, wealthy people and how they can't keep their mouth shut, and they're always there's no secrets with them. They are, they will tell you all the secrets. That's why it's a small club that they all talk amongst. Humor, yes, humor. He compared ivermectin and all that stuff to the germ-killing bleach that we use to clean, not that you have to swallow it. Right. That was tongue-in-cheek. Yeah, it was tongue-in-cheek. But what he was trying to say is maybe there's something that, can sanitize and instead he used the word bleach. So Trump is a game changer. America is never going to be the same. I don't think that we'll ever allow ourselves to have another president like Joe Biden. I don't think we're ever going to allow ourselves to be snookered again. The only way that we're going to get back in the condition we were from 21 to 24 is if they start getting control of the voting booths and they start getting control of the states, like Texas, if they keep cheating. He said, we're not declaring war, just blowing up boats. Oh, that was classic. I loved that. Absolutely love it. I hope Trump does bring in National Guard in New York City on November 4th. Well, if it's Cuomo, he might ask him to. He said, too bad we can't inject this about the Clorox. Something like that. Yeah, I think you're almost exactly right. Okay, so we did an hour today. And I got some nice compliments from Kevin, which is nice. So what we'll do on Election Day is I'm just going to check and see when the polls close in Jersey, Virginia. I know in New York it's 9:00. And we'll do a marathon, and whoever jumps on, jumps on. But I am able to get results in real time, as most people are, and we could put them up on the screen, and that would probably be helpful for everybody. And we will kill them like dead. Oh yeah. An hour well spent. Thank you, Kevin. I would love, maybe I will do that tomorrow. Maybe I'll pull together some of the stuff that he's been saying. Thank you, Angela. I love you too. Just for anybody who doesn't know, if you're in Staten Island, Nicole's having a fundraiser for her birthday. So she's having a birthday party. I'll be there. Will you? Hello, Mickey Petrides. Good to see you. and give my love to Mom. Okay, so share the show, please. Mostly, if you can, I'm going to put up a shorter version of the Thune commentary, so that it fits in a reel, and I'll post it on my Facebook page and Instagram. Share it. Let people see what Democrats are saying. That everything is a negotiation. There's nothing human. Nothing human. It doesn't matter if you suffer. We need leverage. This is how Washington works. See, that's the whole thing, is that they are so entrenched in Washington that they have no humanity anymore. And they pretend that they do, but they don't. And that's why people love Trump, because he does. He's a father. He's a grandfather. And you could see it in his eyes. You could see it with these wars and thinking about these kids dying for no reason. He doesn't like it. It just drives him crazy. Good night, Andrew. Good night, Colleen. Good night, Susan. And good night, Debbie. All right. I'm signing off, and I'll see you tomorrow, 8 o'clock.